Hey guys, what is going on? Inception here and welcome to another video today. Today we're going to be answering more questions around certain topics that people want to talk about. I think the main one that we need to talk about is whether or not FIFA scripting, momentum, and handicap exist. Now, the first and foremost thing I'm going to tell people is that it doesn't exist. The scripting, handicap, momentum does not exist. Poor gameplay exists, right? This is something that I mention to people a lot, and I'm not going to get into it. The only thing that affects your gameplay is it feeling like crap sometimes. That's it, okay? If the gameplay changes half-time or after a goal is scored, that is down to inconsistent gameplay. That is it, right? If you have a gameplay that feels really good, it usually never changes from that really good. Sometimes it does. I've had times where it changed in the 60th or 70th minute, but that's not because of like this momentum shift or whatever it is. It's because the gameplay is literally broken. That is it. I genuinely do not think that scripting, momentum, and handicap exists, but there are gameplay issues where the gameplay is not always the same. That's pretty much it. Never overspend on a goalkeeper. They are all shit, but informs are for players who can't play with normal players and want an advantage on their opponents. That's not particularly true. The only goalkeeper that is worth getting, honestly, is probably De Gea. If you're going to be spending a lot of money, because De Gea is over 200k, right? De Gea is the only player that's actually worth spending the money on because he has the leg save trait. People say that De Gea makes sense to be overpowered in the game because he's overpowered in real life. It doesn't make sense because the only reason why he's overpowered is because he has that leg save traits, right? Farman is not a better goalkeeper than Neuer, but he's a better keeper than Neuer in FIFA because he has the leg save trait and Neuer doesn't, right? So that's a big thing that people need to consider when looking at these cards. De Gea is overpowered because he's overpowered, right? Not because he's a good goalkeeper in real life. He's just overpowered because of that leg save trait. That's the only reason why. This momentum scripting and handicap thing, I win 50 matches in a row, and after that I can't win another 10. I think you know what to do in this situation. It's not, like I said, dude, it's just the gameplay being inconsistent. Like, you can win when the gameplay feels like crap, but it's just harder and you can't play to your full potential, right? Like, the thing is that reaction time and quickness is so important for a game like FIFA that when it doesn't feel like that, it doesn't matter if you beat someone 6-0, 7-0. The game that you're playing in is irrelevant, you know what I'm saying? So that's I don't even think that's an opinion. That's just how it is, right? It's like if you play Call of Duty and you're just lagging all over the place. You're not. It's not just because it's happening to both players doesn't mean that it's the same. Does that make sense? Like it doesn't make sense to say stuff like that. If gameplay was fixed and EA asked you to make new footage, I'm sorry that I'm scratching my eye all the time, guys. I just woke up right now, so that's why I keep scratching my right eye. There's something in it and it doesn't want to come out. If gameplay was fixed and EA asked you to make a new foot champ structure, including rewards, event qualification, entry to the weekend league, and how many games, and etc., what would you tell them? I don't know, man. I've already told them a lot. Some people think that the stuff that I usually complain about, I haven't already talked about with them. I've talked about everything that I possibly could, man. If they do stuff I'm at the point where if they do stuff for the game, they do stuff for the game. Like, I'm not really like looking into it too much because the current state of the game is the current state of the game. I've already said everything that I could, you know. Usually 87 plus inform don't have a significant change in stats until second or even third inform. For example, look at inform Thiago Silva against his regular. It's the same thing. Yeah, I was streaming the other day, and I was actually talking about Thiago Silva and how they barely upgraded his card because the important stats on a defender comes down to acceleration, sprint speed, and then like the defensive stats, obviously. I don't think they actually touched his defensive stats. They may have done it today, actually, because some people have said that they actually started upgrading the players today, which is great. That's good that they actually did that. But for the most part, they don't really look like they got their upgrades from yesterday. But today, I think they started to. It's actually interesting because some of the players that we complained about on stream yesterday that didn't really get significant upgrades, they actually upgraded them. So it's good to see, for sure. Hey man, amazing videos and explaining about the game in general. Watching it with great joy. You're a man that like specific players because of XY. So could you make So could you maybe help out your viewers, maybe with a video of the best players in each position, and explain why you like them? Thanks. Dude, I have like 3 different videos, or 4 actually. The best goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and attackers. So if you search through the through my YouTube channel, like there's 3 different ones, and I list a lot of players in each position that you can go check out and see what reasons I have for liking them and disliking them. Just know that all these things are opinions. Not all of it is factual things, right? Like, I personally, I'm not a huge fan of Vidal in the game, but a lot of people like Vidal. My opinion can change a bit of Vidal later on. It's FIFA, right? Like the players are really weird. Sometimes you like them, sometimes you don't. But for the most part, Vidal, when I use him in a 4-1-2-2 bracket 2 on the left center mid side or the right center mid side, didn't like him, or even as a lone, not lone CDM, but as a CDM with another CDM, I also didn't like him either. What is that new dribbling in midfield video coming? When is that new dribbling in midfield video coming out? I never really made promises about like a dribbling video. I know that people want to see that, but I'm not really sure what people mean by the dribbling, because when I dribble in this game, it's mainly just like doing driven passes, holding Alt trigger to shield the ball away from someone. I guess when people ask for a dribbling tutorial, they want to know why I dribble in certain spaces to open up space. Maybe that's the reason why people want dribbling tutorials. So it would definitely be interesting to look into. But the reason why I haven't done it yet is because it's a very specific video. You have to get a lot of specific clips from your stream or from the gameplay and basically go from there. So yeah, I'll look into doing it. I guess we want to see it from the midfield to the attack is the specific that people want to see. Hey man, really like the long videos. Keep it up. Love hearing your opinions while playing the broken game. Much love from Germany. Hey man, I appreciate you like watching the streams, dudes. Thanks. Who plays with target man people like Icardi? I use Informa 8788 Icardi in 4-3-3 bracket 2 with Dybala's cam. Works fine for me. Yeah, see, the thing with me is that like when it comes to target man strikers, like here's the thing, right? If I get that good gameplay that exists in FIFA every single year, I wouldn't mind using target man strikers sometimes, just for fun, right? Like, obviously, they're not good at the pace part or the dribbling aspect that much, and like they're not terrible at it, but some of them are really, really terrible at it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying them out more often, but when the gameplay feels really bad, you can't really use those target man strikers because they're gonna feel even worse than they're supposed to, right? So that's the reason why. For me personally, I don't really use like the target strikers that much. Great video, keep it long. Yeah, the reason I'm keeping the videos like an hour long, people seem to really like them, like the podcast version of FIFA. I guess that's what my content is going to revolve around for the most part, unless I do like tutorials here and there and maybe squad reviews here and there. But even if I do squad reviews, I do so much gameplay during the streams that like I could just force it all the way down to like an hour 30 minutes and talk about things that I sometimes don't answer during my streams, but I just answer during the questions from like essentially like a podcast, right? So yeah, I'm glad you like them though. Like it's really cool that people actually like them longer. So I think an hour is around a good cutoff time. Maybe I'll push it to like below an hour and a half. You know, I think those are like good cutoff times for sure. What do you mean when you say inconsistent? Inconsistency. When I talk about inconsistency, it's not like, because I had some comments in the chat with Twitch, right? Because like I told you guys before, man, Twitch chat is something else nowadays. When I talk about inconsistency, it's not like inconsistency in real life football. Inconsistency in FIFA is hopping on FIFA and not knowing what the gameplay is going to be like. I can tell if the gameplay is bad or good from the first like 5 seconds of playing in it. That's what my inconsistency means, right? If I play in a game and I know it's good, it's you notice it from kickoff. It doesn't take you longer than 5 seconds to realize the general feel of the players, right? So that's what the inconsistent part basically means for me. Could someone tell me if this is a good team? Farman, Alaba, Boateng, Bai, Valencia. Pretty meta, general. Bakayoko, second in form, Fekir, Tolisso, in form, Alessandro, Mbappe, Neymar. That's a pretty typical squad, except for the Fekir part. It's the typical like meta team that people usually use. So yeah, it's weird. It's funny because when people actually show me those squads, they're like, "Yo, what do you think about this squad?" It's like, it's nowadays with FIFA, like when people say, "What do you think about this squad?" Like I have one guy in my chat from Twitch. When he sends me squads, they're actually unique squads. He doesn't send me ones that have like the typical meta boring players, right? Like I always ask him like, hey, if I ever want to get to that point of trying out different teams, I want you to send me squads, because he gets players that are good in each position, but it's not like the typical like Alessandrini, Mbappe, and all these guys, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a typical like meta team, dude. That's pretty much the players that everybody uses. I have Casemiro as a CDM and MSN up front. Would you upgrade Neymar to Ronaldo or Casemiro for CDM Blanc first? No, Neymar is amazing in the game. You don't have to upgrade to Ronaldo. Ronaldo is very good though. I think he'll definitely make a difference in your club. But the CDM Blanc is definitely the person I would 110% upgrade to. That's the expression I use, 110%. Doesn't make sense, but we just kind of go with it. Yeah, so CDM Blanc is definitely a player that I would definitely upgrade Casemiro with, 100%. Casemiro's, I don't know how people like Casemiro. I think he's absolutely trash. He's just too slow. He's too slow in the midfield, man. Like, you just can't have a player like that nowadays because there's too many people using meta squads, so it just doesn't create a good balance, you know? So that kind of sucks. Is there anyone not including icons who could replace Bakayoko at the CDM spot? I'm getting bored of using him. The thing about Bakayoko is that he has specific aspects about him that make him a good player. If you guys didn't see the best midfielders in FIFA video and stuff, I basically say how Bakayoko has all the necessary stats that make him a very, very good CDM. No player in this game is overpowered. They're just good because their stats make them good. You know what I'm saying? There's specific stats that make certain players good. But if you're going to replace Bakayoko, the only player that I can think of you replacing, but it's not going to play the same as Bakayoko, is probably an informed Fernandinho, I would say. I think informed Fernandinho would be the player that would maybe play something similar to a Bakayoko. Maybe even better, who knows, because he actually has better defensive stats, he has better pace, so there's potential there, but he is shorter, right? So it really depends when you're using him. Fabinho would be a good one too, but Fabinho's Brazilian, so that's pretty tough to do with the EPL in terms of getting meta and stuff. So yeah, you could get Fabinho, but you would have to get like an Icon, a Willian, a Neymar, and yeah. So it'd be tougher to link him in the club, but Fabinho is like one of the other CDMs that are really good. It's just the reason why people don't use him that much is because he's from the League One, Brazilian. Brazilian's pretty decent, but in terms of fitting players in a club, you need a lot of icons and stuff. So yeah. Do you want to try my God Squad for a weekend league to see what you could do? Team of the year, Marcelo, blah, blah, blah. Basically, God tier squad, like striker, Ronaldo, all that stuff. No, dude, I appreciate the offer, but I would never want to play on someone else's account, because then I feel like I would be wasting time on my own account. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can play better with a better squad, it doesn't really necessarily bother me if I could or I couldn't. It would just be a waste of time for me personally to play with a better team. So that's why I wouldn't do that. But I do appreciate the offer for sure. Thanks, man. By the way, guys, if I look completely dead right now, it's literally because I woke up. I know I mentioned that earlier, but it's probably why I'm talking in a certain way. I literally just woke up, so we're having a conversation, so it's all good. What do you think about PES? Do you think is a better game than FIFA? Have you tried his light version? I was trying it during weekend. I kind of like it, but hated the look of the game. It seems like a PlayStation 1 game. The thing about PES, I actually enjoy the PES gameplay quite a lot, actually. I think their gameplay is pretty good, in my opinion. My only problem with their gameplay is that, or not their gameplay, my problem with their game is that, which isn't even necessarily a big problem, but it's two different things, right? One is the graphics from afar. From close, it looks fantastic. From afar, it doesn't look good at all. And that's something that they really need to look into, because it still looks like a PlayStation 2 game from afar. But after you play like 10 games, the graphics thing honestly doesn't bother you that much, because, see, I'm the type of person that prefers better gameplay over graphics. Like, I prefer a game like Fortnite over a game like PUBG, because Fortnite is just a fun game to play, right? Whereas PUBG, I really didn't have fun playing it at all. because of the concepts, right? Like in Fortnite, you go inside, get a gun, boom, you get into engaged right away. PUBG, you can go into like 6 different buildings and never get a submachine gun. So it's like it's a different game. Another problem with PES being a North American person is that PES doesn't really have a player base in North America. Like if you mention PES to people in North America, they probably make fun of you because they don't know what it means. Or like like when they think about a football simulator, like FIFA is the first thing that comes to mind. Like no one ever goes up to another guy and be like, hey, are you gonna pick up PES? Like no one asks that question. Everyone usually gets FIFA. Like FIFA is the only football simulator in the minds of a North American. Like we just don't get PES unless PES themselves do some revolutionizing stuff to their game, i.e. better. I think there's two things with it. It's, again, the graphics need to be improved from afar, and the licensing. Licensing is not an issue on PlayStation, so if I were to get the game on the PlayStation, it wouldn't be an issue because I could just do the file transfer, right? But the licensing is an issue for the general public that don't want to do all that, right? So, yeah, I think the biggest concern that they need to look into is definitely the graphics from afar. That's pretty much it. But it's, again, it's not even that big of a deal because after me playing like 10 games, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't even notice it, right? Because I'm just enjoying the game. Because there was PES games where when I played their demo, I had a lot of fun. Like, I thought, I don't remember which PES it was, but I think it was PES 16 or 17. I thought had like the best passing I've ever had in any football simulator. It was just a ton of fun to play. So, yeah, I don't know. I like the gameplay a lot. It's just it doesn't have enough of a fan base in North America for me to play it. First Madden, second NBA 2K, now it's FIFA that's fallen. Once they get their audience, they stop caring and only do it for the money. No, they've always done it for the money. Even back then when FIFA was popping at least a little bit, it was still for the money. So, I mean, it kind of is what it is, man. Like, at this point, we just gotta hope that EA adds stuff. There's potential that they do add stuff because FIFA Mobile has been doing really well recently. So there's definitely potential there for them to actually do stuff to their console version of the game. And a lot of people have been complaining this year. If they keep the format of Foot Champs the same with the whole 40 games concept the same next year, a lot of people are going to stop playing the game instantly, right? If they don't add any new game modes, they're going to stop instantly. So a lot is riding on next year's game, which is so bad because this happens every single year in February. Like, there's still 7 months left. Like, something needs to happen to this game. What I'm really hoping for, guys, is I'm hoping that they add a World Cup thing in the Ultimate Team version of their game. And I hope to God that the gameplay feels the same as Division 1 on the PlayStation 4. If it feels the same as Division 1 on the PlayStation 4, I will be a happy camper, man. I will actually play the hell out of it because although I hate the goalkeepers being overpowered as they are, it would be a lot of fun to actually collect the players or have a concept of collecting players in the World Cup game mode if that were to come out in Ultimate Team. But the gameplay really needs to feel like Division 1. If it feels like Xbox Draft during the daytimes, I don't even know what I'm going to say to that. It's good that I have both consoles, though, because I can actually try it on both consoles. Like, I can play the Xbox version of the game and the PlayStation version of the game and hope to God that one of them feels good, so that way I can actually grind it and stream consistently and try to actually grow the channel. Because obviously, if the World Cup mode comes out, it's FIFA. Like, people say that the game's dead right now, but if the World Cup mode comes out, we all know that it's going to be popping as much as we hate the gameplay. So, yeah, here's to hoping that they actually add something really cool. Awesome podcast. Keep them long. Do L1 dribbling tutorial. Last third pitch dribbling tutorial. Like I said earlier, people do want to see the whole dribbling concept, like the tutorial for that. I will look into doing that for sure. I'm actually going to look at the specifics that I do because I don't even notice the stuff that I do, but apparently it's stuff that people... Like, there's certain things that I do that are small things that actually make a big difference, and people want to know what it does that makes that difference, right? So I'll definitely look into doing that, man. I do appreciate it. I was thinking to get Mbappe OTW because I need him as a striker. He's 730 to 740k now on PS4. Should I get him? Also, Neymar is injured, so higher chance he gets an inform. Mbappe, dude, he's super subjective. Like, I hated his regular card. I really think his regular card is so overrated because I think it's like the balance and agility part that makes him crap. I'm not really sure exactly what it is. But the card just doesn't do anything in game for me. So that would be completely down to you. The OTW card, that's a striker, has a lot of potential. That card could be very good. But other than that, I genuinely don't know. Nice video, bro. I agree with, and now I know about you think and agree so more about FIFA and stuff. I hope in the future you can do like a second channel to do another things about the FIFA gameplay. Great as always, bro. Thanks. I have a second channel like where I play other games, but I've only had like one video on it so far. I think it's like a PUBG highlights video. I definitely should post more to it because I do play other games. It wouldn't be necessarily for like YouTube content. It would just be for like, it's just my own fun aspect, right? Because FIFA, I do very specific videos. I edit it. I make sure that the video is decent, or like if I'm doing like a podcast like I'm doing right now where I have FIFA gameplay in the background, like this is actual editing. But if I play a game like Fortnite and I'm recording gameplay where I get like 12 kills and stuff, like I wouldn't mind posting that up because I feel like that'd be kind of like a fun thing to do. It wouldn't necessarily be like, hey, come check out my channel, I'm trying to grow it. It's more like I'm just trying to have fun and post videos so I can show my friends and stuff, you know? Because I play with my friends a lot. And there's certain games where I just want to show them what I do. So I'm just like, yo, I'm just going to post on my second channel. So, yeah, I do have a second channel, but I don't really post that much on it. But I definitely should in the future. I respect you very much. Nice video. I think any player with some brain have the same opinion of EA and FIFA. Yo, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You don't have to have the same opinion as me when it comes to FIFA and EA, but it's an opinion that like I will stick by until they do something different with their game for sure. Your logic is on point with the informs. My philosophy is exactly the same. Help save us a lot of coins and not be irrationally spending for upgrades. It's not even like a... The thing about the upgrading the informs thing is that it's not even a thing of like wasting money in the game because it's FIFA. Like if you want to buy a player, I'm the type of guy that screw the whole profit thing, like higher or lower. If you want to use the player at that very moment, you buy the player, you have fun with the player. If you lose 200k, oh well, you're having fun with the player. But the thing is, right, is that you need to know that you like the player. That's the problem with FIFA, because if you don't like the player, you can't... Sometimes you don't sell him for the same price. Sometimes you sell him for lower. Like, it could be 2 hours later and he'll go down like 20k. And not only will he go down 20k, you'll actually lose money on him from tax as well. So, try out different players, but be careful who you try out. That's why I make videos of, like, stats you should look at before you actually buy, because... there's a lot of characteristics of players that might not be very good and might be decent, right? So that's it for the questions on this video. So we're going to go check out another video here. We're going to go see the 4-3-3 instructions and tactics video. Let's see what else we got going here. I don't think we got much questions, a lot of other questions in these videos. I think for the Foot Champs videos, I actually might get some questions, so we'll go check out those videos right now. What formation do you use? I use the 4-2-3-1 most of the time. 4-2-3. Oh, here's the thing about the 4-2-3-1 bracket too. I use the 4-2-3-1 bracket too more for the winning concept than the fun concept, because 4-2-3-1 for me personally is not a fun formation to use. It's more like a formation you use to try to win your games, but it's not fun, right? I've noticed it because when I use like a formation like the 4-1-2-1-2, attacking wise, it's way better. Not like you get more attacking opportunities, more like it's fun to play with, right? But again, because the game kind of revolves around winning quite a lot, I use the 4-2-3-1 because defensively it's really good. I pop in those 1, 2, 3 goals or whatever, and I just play possession or whatever it is to try to keep the ball as much as I possibly can and all that kind of stuff, right? Because again, the game really revolves around winning most of the time, so you have to be really careful with how you approach certain situations, right, when you use certain formations. So yeah. Hey man, I love your videos and agree with most things you say, but I strongly respectfully disagree with your point about the one-on-one finishing. Goalkeeper has a job to do and he's allowed to make saves. No striker in the world scores every single clean-cut chance, but keep up the good work, bro. I don't think that's an opinion whether there's certain things, like it may come across as very arrogant to some people, but I genuinely think that the 1v1 finishing in this game is really stupid. And it's not about, people will always bring up like a striker shouldn't score every single time. If a game wants to be consistent and you take the extra touch and you take the proper shot and the goalkeeper saves it, it's incredibly stupid that they save most of the shots. The reason why is because if you understand how the game mechanics work, right, you'll understand that the 1v1 finishing is very stupid. The only people who say that, no offense, are people who don't truly understand the game mechanics. Because here's an example, right? On a long shot, it's easier to score a long shot than a 1v1 opportunity. Do you know why? Because the way that the game mechanics work for a long shot is different to the way the game mechanics works for a 1v1. I'll give you guys a very good example. If someone hits a long shot across the body, first of all, the skill required to even do a long shot is very minimal because you're just holding B. There's no thought process. Sometimes you even shoot it through someone's legs when they're defending properly from a long shot, right? All they have to do is aim it across, hold B, and it'll go into the back of the net. You guys need to understand why it's stupid. The reason why it's stupid is because the way that the goalie reacts to it is different. A goalie stands in place when the shot is taken. He stands in place, doesn't move to the side, and then from that place he's standing from, that's when he dives for it. That's incredibly stupid for a long-range shot that takes less skill than a 1v1, right? On a 1v1, again, if you understand the game mechanics, it's not a goalkeeper's job is to save opportunities. It's because they made the shooting worse, okay? In the patch that screwed this game completely, they made it so that the goalkeepers were more overpowered because it's actually in the patch notes that their reaction times are quicker, but their reaction times are not quicker naturally. It doesn't look natural. The reaction times of the goalkeeper is unnaturally quick. They dive down really quickly to what a player to commands from a shot, and it doesn't make sense. They dive way too fast. Like, they dive faster than De Gea's reaction time save against Sevilla on that one cross with a header. That's how fast the reaction time is, and that's why it's so overpowered. It's not whether a goalie should save the 1v1s or not. The only goalkeepers that are really stupid to come up against are Farman and De Gea, right? But that's the goalkeepers that everybody uses. That's why it's stupid. It's not whether it's a goalkeeper's job to save opportunities or to not save opportunities. For a skill-based game, if I am taking the extra touch or I'm in the right angle, it needs to go into the back of the net if I'm taking a proper shot. If I'm not taking a proper shot, then obviously I shouldn't be rewarded for it and the goalie should save it. But if I'm literally taking an extra touch to cut inside and finesse it around the goalkeeper and he saves it, it's incredibly stupid from a medium distance. It's incredibly stupid because long shots are so easy to score. And the 1v1 finishing bothers me the most, not only because of how easy long shots are, but because of how many stupid mechanics happen in this game. Deflections landing right back to players. The near post corner, which you can barely defend against because you can't even switch to the guy near post quick enough to defend against someone like a Team of the Year Ronaldo who's just going to bang it into the back of the net all the time. So yes, the 1v1 finishing, in my opinion, is not an opinion. Although that's really weird to even say. It's a fact that it's shit, in my opinion. Not in my opinion. I think it's a fact that is crap. Certain things in FIFA, I just don't think it's an opinion because I'll give you guys a prime example, right? Before the patch came out, the goalkeepers were awful only because of the shots that were directly at them. But if you took a shot directly at the goalkeeper, they did this really stupid dive animation, right? That's the only animation that needed to be fixed because if you shot the ball, the shooting was very nice pre-patch. If you shot the ball and it went towards the goalkeeper, it's because the angle of which you were taking the shot wasn't good enough. But if you took the shot at a good angle, I'm talking about inside the box, not the long shots. Long shots being nerfed was important, and they brought them back. The shots inside the box, if you took the extra touch to be at a 90-degree angle, or you took the extra touch to be towards the goal rather than away, because if you're away from the goal, then yeah, the shots were more inconsistent, right? But if you were facing the goal, you would score them more often than not, and that's how it should be. Inconsistency is what makes this game really shitty, And it's because of people like De Gea and Farman. And even other goalkeepers that make the most crazy reaction saves from inside the box. But from outside the box, they just stand still and they don't go for the dive. So it's 100% stupid, man. I'm sorry. I really don't think it's an opinion that the 1v1 is fine. It's if you actually understand how the game mechanics work, it's incredibly dumb, the current state of how it is. I'm sorry that I went super long into that. It's just, I'm very passionate about the 1v1 finishing because even the pro players complain about how stupid it is that they can create a beautiful opportunity, not score because a goalkeeper's reaction times are ridiculously overpowered. And people can just be like, hey, let me just pop a long shot where I'm facing this direction outside the box and shoot it that way. It's stupid, right? Just the whole concept of it. What is your opinion on Prime Bergkamp? I love this card, but do you think it's hampering me? Let me see the specifics with Bergkamp. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I had a lot of people that said why I don't put the stats of the cards on the YouTube video. It's very complicated to do that because I put the face cam over the gameplay, and then I have to put the review of the stats of the player on the thing as well. It's a lot of editing, guys, because I'm editing like gameplay that are like 8 hours long, and I'm trying to shorten it up to like an hour, right? Or streams that are like an hour long into 1 hour stream. It's a lot of editing to do. So I feel like me just talking about it as a podcast and saying the stats out loud, I feel like that's good enough. I know that people want to see it on the screen, but it's just harder to actually edit that into the stream. It's an hour long. Like, you have to find the exact specifics of when I'm talking and the players that I'm looking for. So it's just tougher to do that. That's why I don't really do it. But in regards to Bergkamp, we can check out his card right now. So Bergkamp has 85 acceleration, 83 sprint speed, finishing 93, 81 agility, 82 balance. See, this card has a lot of potential to be very good because he's 6 foot tall, right? He has 81 agility with 82 balance, which is quite nice because if you think about it, Martial is very similar. My only thing with this card, I don't know how to check for the traits on Foothead. I'm going to go ahead and go to, I believe Footbin has it like literally on the side. So I'm going to go to Footbin's website right here. I'm going to go to Bergkamp. Bergkamp, there we go. Okay, so if you give Bergkamp, or no, not give Bergkamp, I just want to see his traits. Shooting, finesse shot, flare, chip shot, flare, shooting, chip shot. I think that's glitched into the thing. I'm going to go back to Foothead here because I like the way that they format their players over here. The card has a, this is the type of card. So this is the expression that I always use for people. So Bergkamp is a trying out type of card. Does he have the stats that could make him a very good player? Yes, absolutely. He has all the stats that has the potential to make him a very, very good player. He's 4-star, 85 acceleration with 83 sprint speed is decent. It's not terrible. He actually seems like he would make quite a decent cam if you were to give him, I guess, whatever the card, I guess Catalyst, to give him more pace and more passing. I think that'd be okay. To give him better long passing as a cam. But, I mean, 77 and upgrading it by 5 or 10, you might not notice that much. So I think making his shooting perfect is probably more ideal. You could also improve his agility and balance, which is a major factor of whether players move quicker or slower. 81 and 82 agility and balance is decent for someone who is 6 foot tall. So if you make it even better, he might be really hard to get the ball off of because he also has the 95 composure as well as 77 strength while also being 6 foot. So the card has a lot of potential. Is it worth a million coins? There's potential that it could be worth a million coins, but this is a player that you're not guaranteed will be good. He doesn't have the stats that are guarantees. He has stats that are, hey, you need to try it out to see if he's good or bad. So he's a trying out type of card. He does look like he's worth trying out personally. So I would definitely give him a shot for sure. Inform Banashia and Alexandro would be nice. Oh, so you guys are referring to the team that I was using before and the upgrades that I could make to it. So here's the thing with upgrading to Alexandro and Banashia. I actually did that the other day, and it just didn't work out for me at all. I didn't like how Alexandro felt on the ball in comparison to the rest of my team. Because here's the thing, right? There's certain players that end up not being very good in your team because the rest of the team doesn't work out. Like, how am I going to explain this? Like, Alexandro is a good player in the game, but the way that the rest of the team was moving, it made Alexandro a worse player, right? That's the situation with a player like Alexandro, or even like Inform Benatia. Other players around them need to make them good players, kind of. Like, it's really weird to explain, but that's just kind of like how I noticed it as I was playing the game. Would they be good to get in the club? Yes, but there was something about them when I used them I didn't like, and maybe it was because when I was using Matuidi in the CDM spot, I just didn't. Matuidi's good. You can tell he's a good player, but I think he's only good in like a 4-1-2 and 2 bracket 2 as a left center mid. But as a CDM, I didn't like him there at all. He was never in position. He was always attacking, even though my tactics were on super low passing, super low aggression, all that kind of stuff. And he was just pushing forward like an animal. And it's weird because Tolisso has high medium work rates, and even he didn't even push that much. And Tolisso has more shooting capabilities than Matuidi does. So definitely an interesting situation there. But yeah, I definitely changed it up for sure. Hitting Elite 1 with that team, man, you're good. I have a good team, 12 million. My best performance was Elite 3. You can try my team anytime. Just let me know. Yeah, I've had a lot of people who wanted me to try out their squads in FUT Champs. But like I said, I feel like for me personally, it'd be a waste of time for me to do it on your account and then not on my account, because then I have to create content on your account. It's just a whole lot of hooplas and situations that I don't really necessarily want to get into, right? So, yeah. At what cost to your current squad would you take R7? Would you sacrifice Blanc? No, I would not sacrifice Blanc. The most important position on the pitch in your team is 110%. That's the expression. Your midfield. Your midfield is the most important. That's what wins you games. If I had a midfield that consists of either Hullets, Patrick Vieira's, Laurent Blanc's, or any of those types of dudes in my midfield, I think I would definitely perform better in a general sense. Tolisso has high medium work rates as one of my CDMs. I'm pretty sure if I upgraded to a Hullet there, my life would change forever, right? So I think upgrading your midfield is more important because you can get attackers that are cheap, overpowered players that can do the work for you. Not be as consistent as Ronaldo, because Ronaldo's a god in this game, but still play pretty decently in terms of performance in the game for sure. Blanc 85 or Rijkaard, that question we usually answer. I say Blanc because I never tried out Rijkaard. I don't think it's a card worth trying out, because he has, the thing about the Rijkaard is that like the potential of why he could be bad is because he lacks in the agility and balance department, and I don't like that for a player that I want to move left and right really quickly, who's also 6'1", right? So it's a card you have to try out. He might make up for it in the defensive stats, but you know. Hello, I'm not a kid. I'm 40 years old. I play FIFA almost 2 years, and I'm struggling with many sadness and angry until I saw your video 2 to 3 weeks ago about to not leave the players them spots. This unlocked totally my brain and my gameplay, and I go 2 weeks in a row in the weekend league. Many thanks to you. You are the most honest, and your analysis is the best against the other cheats YouTubers who upload anything they are interested. So I want to ask you a thing: how my opponents in my box, when they attack me dribbling, it's broken English, guys, but I don't judge people who have broken English. It's because, if honestly, you could tell it's someone that's like from a different place, and if they're speaking English as a secondary language, like it's pretty good, right? So I never judge, but I am reading it in broken English. So I want to ask you a thing: my opponents in the box, the ball from them, and when I attack at the same situation, they come to the ball first and they steal it. I think mechanism or button that I don't know what the others know. Maybe. Oh, sorry, man. I'm not really sure what you're asking in this question. Like, you're saying that, like, they can get the ball back easily from your defensive side. The only thing that I can say is try to be as calm as you possibly can, and just cross it to the sides to your fullbacks that are in the open position. That's the only thing that I would probably say that you should probably do. Inception, you're a true good player to get elite ranking with that team. Everyone else has paid to win teams and struggle to get elite. Thanks for the tips, bro. Yo, I appreciate it, man. The thing about FIFA is like, it's a very subjective game when it comes to certain things. So here's the thing about FIFA. Some people can have a squad similar to mine, be from North America, stream all their games to hundreds of people, and they can get top 100 with it, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than someone who consistently does it with a good team. So here's the way that FIFA works, right? The only way to truly test how good you are at this game is by having a competitive mode that gives you every single player in the game that you can, like, and let's just say that FIFA wasn't a pay-to-win game, because let's be honest, it is. All the people who make top 100 have God squads, right? Let's just say that, or not all the people that make top 100 have God squads. It's the guys who usually make like regionals and stuff. Like they have like God squad teams, right? Let's just say, for instance, this game wasn't pay to win, right? And getting players like Lauren, because dude, I got Lauren Blanc, who isn't even a Patrick Vieira and a Hullet, and it changed my life forever. But whatever. If you, let's just say you had, everyone had the team and you can play Division 1 consistently, and you get to the point where you find the perfect balance with the perfect players in your team. That is the only way to test out true skill in the game. Because there's been plenty of people who are fantastic players at this game, use cheaper squads, and not perform as well in FUT Champs because they don't have their better players. Does that make them a worse player? No, it doesn't, because here's the difference, right? The difference is that when you use a God squad, you can play to your full potential. It doesn't, the way that I see it, right, is that if I have a God squad and you have a God squad, I'm not bothered at all, because at least I'm able to play to my full potential. I have the extra weak foot, the extra shooting, the extra passing, the extra dribbling, the extra height, right? So if you have a God squad and I have a God squad, I don't care at all. Even last year when I had like a really, really good squad at some point, when I came up against people that had good squads, people were like, oh shit, he has a really, really good squad. It didn't matter because I had a good squad too, so I wasn't bothered by it, right? Whereas this year, if someone has a God squad, defensive AI is so overpowered nowadays that these God squads do play for people. So you have to play more specifically against these types of teams. So yeah. But I do appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. But that's how I feel about FIFA. Like, the only way to truly test your skill is by giving everyone, every single player, and allowing them to play the game consistently, and try to find that perfect formation, perfect. It will never be like that, but that's the only way to really test true skill in FIFA. I don't think skill really massively exists in FIFA. Obviously, there's still those guys that consistently get top 100 in FIFA, but I'm talking about like the general concept in FIFA. Skill doesn't really exist, especially since the gameplay is super inconsistent. With, if I play Division 1 with a rare gold team and someone has like a full icon team, if we're of a similar skill level, it's going to be harder for me to beat the person. That's just how FIFA is, right? So yeah, the God squads aren't the problem. Problems make cheap teams where my players feel shit and cannot control them. Of course, the EA want to keep them playing and spending money. See, dude, I'm at the point with FIFA where, like, I don't know if the inconsistent gameplay is a thing that EA intentionally do, or if it's a thing that they can't find to try to fix. I'm leaning more towards a side of a part they can't fix, but at the same time, like, I mentioned it to them twice, and nothing happened 2 years later. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Why don't you just use Willian instead of Mkhitaryan? So the reason why I don't use Willian instead of Mkhitaryan is because if Mkhitaryan gets an upgrade this year, which is, there's a chance, right? Although Arsenal are very inconsistent. If Mkhitaryan gets an upgrade, I won't have to spend more money, and his card will be very good. Also because he has a 5-star weak foot. That 5-star weak foot makes a big difference for me. And defensively, he actually plays quite decently for me. So that's why I usually that's why I got the Mkhitaryan over the Willian. Another situation is the height, because Mkhitaryan is, I think he's 5'11 or 5'10, and Willian is 5'9. So the extra little bit of height, excuse me, definitely makes the difference for me, in my opinion. Let's see what other questions we got here. Can you do a video with your camera settings and controller gamepad configuration? My controller gamepad configuration is just like, I think the only thing that I switch, I don't even know if it's still the same right now. The only thing that I switch is the switching with my players is set to airball, and the crossing is a semi or assisted. Everything is pretty default. I don't even cross the ball that much, so not really like a big deal. But I think the only thing that I change in my controller configuration is that I have it to air balls for switching. Because if I didn't have it to air balls for switching, it would never switch to the player perfectly. It doesn't even switch perfectly nowadays, but it just wouldn't switch to the guy in the middle that it would need to switch to. So that's what I usually use. Camera settings is just telebroadcast default. I don't change the I don't think I changed the height and the height and zoom, I think is what it's called. Great video, buddy. Keep them coming. Great content. Also, I'm tired of playing against God squads and he's changing. 28 wins is my best so far. I also have Hazard and Morata in forms too. It's so tough. I don't think, like, facing the God squads is the problem. I just think that, like, everyone has very generic teams nowadays. Like, the gods... Like, FIFA is incredibly competitive-oriented nowadays. Like, the fun concept is just completely out of this game, right? Like, I tried playing Division 1 the other day, man, and I was trying to use a different team, and it was just... There was no point in doing it because everyone plays this competitive concept nowadays because it's not worth... The whole concept of this game is winning. Like, it's just winning. It's having fun with different players. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage because of how overpowered defensive AI is. Everyone has icons and stuff nowadays. So, trying out different players, you can do it, but you have to do it with the leisure that you're probably gonna lose. Because, like, if I use Talisca and Juilano as center mids who have no defensive presence, like, I'm already putting myself at a disadvantage there, right? If I use Quaresma and Brahimi in a team, I'm putting myself at a disadvantage because of specific concepts that make them not very good players, right? It's a game that has so many players you could try out, but you just don't do it because there's no point to, right? So I definitely think that EA needs to look into all of that for next year's game. Like, I wish Foot Champs wasn't a game mode in this game. Personally, I genuinely think that it shouldn't be a game mode because it's completely ruined FIFA, in my opinion, with the whole competitive concept. I can do well in Foot Champs, but I don't feel like playing it most times because it's incredibly stressful. Like, I just want to have fun and try out different teams and do challenges and play the World Cup game mode. Like, I'm more of a fun person. I don't want a game to force the competitive concept on me, especially for a game that is not even close to ready for competitive, right? So, yeah, definitely an interesting situation for sure. I agree so much with you. There's no fun in champs anymore because of how competitive it is. Great video. Keep the good work, bro. The game is completely revolved around foot champs now. Like, people don't play. I find the same people on PlayStation and on the Xbox for divisions or draft. It's really bad, man, because everyone only plays during foot champs. Everyone's only playing the squad battles. People aren't playing online because squad battles exist. Why would you play online when you could just play squad battles? That gives you better rewards than playing online. It's the whole concept of gameplay content in FIFA is just all messed up, man. It's all over the place, you know. I love how insightful this guy is. Great video, yo. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Faraz. How often during the game you swap between attacking, normal, defending, or park the bus? Do you use these tactics? Most of the times when I'm playing, I use balanced. I don't think I really switch from balanced. Sometimes when I want to hold on to a result, like near the last 5 or 10 minutes, I'll put like ultra defensive or defensive so that my back line doesn't push up like idiots. So I'll do that, and then when I notice that he gets the ball back, I will switch back to balanced as he's getting the ball in his half. Because what it does is that, like, I know that my players are back there, but if I switch to balance, and they'll push up again. But it's just to know that they're gonna stay back there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would see. Nice to see some positivity in a FIFA video. Really enjoyed. I appreciate that, man. Sometimes I can get really negative. I don't want to bring that to my YouTube channel that much, but certain topics when it comes to podcasts, I think with FIFA, most of it is going to be negative than positive, but I try to stay as positive as I can for my FIFA videos because I know that people want to see that more. Like earlier, I was talking about how I just don't think that some of the goalies making these crazy reaction saves in 1v1s is an okay thing. I don't think that's an opinion. I genuinely think that's a fact. I know that I'll be looked at differently in a certain way because of that, but I just don't think that it's okay that a long shot is easier to score because of the way that a goalie reacts to a long shot rather than the way that they react in a 1v1 where you actually have to craft a play to get inside someone's box. I think it's just stupid. Try inform Kalasinac as a CDM, start him as the subs and bring him in. Great video. Thanks, man. I've used Kalasinac as a CDM. He doesn't play very good there for me. He's weird. His movement on the pitch is very weird, and the inform doesn't really feel that good, in all fairness. Yeah, it doesn't really feel that good. It's like I even tried using him as a fullback, and I didn't really like him that much. And I think the big reason why I don't like him that much is because he's not meta. Like, if it was more like a fun concept where I'm using like Mustafi, Kalasinac, and Ozil in the team or something as my triple squadrons, I think it would be better. But yeah, it's just he's not meta. If I come up against someone that has like Ronaldo, Martial, and all that stuff, like they just destroy him all the time. So that's why I don't really use them that often. Why have you switched to PlayStation, by the ways? So I get this question quite a lot. The reason why I switched to PlayStation is because of gameplay. So for the most part, and it's the thing is, guys, that it's not consistent, but for the most part, gameplay on the PlayStation is usually better than the gameplay on the Xbox. Gameplay on the PlayStation, when I played Division 1, for the most part, it feels really good. Like, even if I play during the daytime, it feels really good. Foot champs and drafts still feels incredibly inconsistent. Drafts on the PlayStation is the same as the Xbox. Absolutely garbage during the daytimes, and sometimes it's good during the night times. But Division 1, and this is 100% a thing, guys, because I literally had times during my streams where I went to draft, the gameplay was crap, I went back to Division 1, and in the first 2 or 3 seconds of the game, I noticed that my players felt better right away. And even my chat, when they were watching the gameplay, even they said, wow, your gameplay even looks quicker than it did in the draft. So there's definitely a situation going on in this game that's just can't be fixed, or it's, I don't know if they're trying to fix it or whatever, right? It's definitely there, but it's really weird. How do you do that move where you stop and kind of do a fake shot, but not a fake shot? Oh, you're talking about the fake shot stop. Yeah, I do the fake shot stop all the time, bro. It's like a thing that I usually do. A lot of people don't really use the fake shot stop. I think I'm one of the few people that actually do it all the time. But it doesn't really help you that much, but it's just because I want to stop the ball in place. So basically, the fake shot stop is essentially like this. Like, you're just sliding your thumb. So if I have my controller right here, right? You're just sliding your, like, I'll look at it for you guys. You're sliding your thumb from circle to X, circle to X, circle to X. You're sliding it. The reason why you slide is because if you do this by itself, like singularly, it's more inconsistent. Although the game's registration is very poor, sometimes you don't get the fake shot off. It's sliding your thumb from circle to X. Or you could slide your thumb from square to X. Same thing, right? Like, it doesn't really matter. What it does is it'll do a fake shot stop on the spot. If you're not pressing L1, what it'll do is it'll fake shot stop in the direction of the opposition's net. So if you're running this way and the net is that way from the opposition, he'll do a fake shot looking that way. Unless you're holding LB and I think it's LB or R1 and you're aiming it in a certain direction with your thumbstick. Like, if you're using your thumbstick and you're doing a fake shot while also holding R1 or LB, I can't remember exactly which command it is, then it'll hold it in that direction. Or it'll fake shot in that general direction. Could you make a 2 million coin squad? I want something to work towards. I mean, squad reviews, if I do squad reviews, a lot of people want to see the Division 1 gameplay. Here's the thing, guys. I would love to try out different teams consistently in this game, but if gameplay wasn't so inconsistent and it was good all the time, I would try out so many different squads just to have fun with, right? And I know that people are really, really into that kind of stuff, like just trying out different squads in Division 1. Is Division 1 worthy? Is it not Division 1 worthy? Like, I know people are really into that kind of stuff, but yeah, big reason why I don't really try out different teams is because of the gameplay. So making a 2 million coin squad, I don't know if I'll be doing that anytime soon, man. Sorry, dude. What do you think about Milinkovic-Savic? 85 is second in form. His stats are amazing, but in the game I feel like he lacks of something. So the reason why you might think that Milinkovic might lack in something, I'll show you right now. So the potential of his card is very good. If you give him a shadow card, he'll probably be a defensive god in the midfield, as well as having the pace. His shooting is already really good, especially with the 4-star. It's a fantastic player to have in the midfield for sure. The reason why you might not like him in this game is because he has 72 agility with 64 balance. That might be one of the main reasons why you might not like him. But other than that, the card is fantastic. He's the type of card where he has stats that may make up for other stats. So if he has certain stats that are really bad, he might have stats that make him very good, right? The thing about the Milinkovic card too is that, like, he is a type of card that you could even put as a center back if you really want to, and he'll play really well there, and you'll have an actual attacking presence from the center back while he's up there. He can win the ball in the air because he has 90 jumping with 98 heading accuracy. Like, the card's going to be fantastic to have in the midfield because he's 6'3", so he's going to win most of the balls in the air in the midfield. So, yeah, that's the part that could frustrate you a little bit, though. That's probably the part that might actually bother you a little bit if you're saying as to why he could be bad or good. I got 34 myself. I've tried Blanc as a CDM, but sold him to a forward R9. Been using Inform Goretzka as a CDM. He is next level. Goretzka's very good, but I didn't like him as a CDM next to Blanc. Now, he could be a good CDM by himself with another CDM like a Matuidi, both high work rates and stuff. Like, it's in FIFA, you have to try out these types of things. Like, when you try out something like that, there is potential of it being very good or very bad, right? With Inform Goretzka, you definitely have to try it out in a team with different players. He didn't work out for me as a left CDM with Laurent Blanc on the right side, but that's, again, completely down to opinion on that aspect. What else? Can you stop saying Laurent Blanc all the time? Just say Blanc. No, I think Laurent Blanc is okay. I've come up against so many God squads, but many of them are used by shit players. I'm guessing there are people who will use the no-loss glitch in foot champs early on. Now I'm facing people who use it in foot draft and even Division 1. Cannot stand cheaters. My team would have been a lot better if I had switched from PS4 to Xbox in December, but still nowhere near as the teams I face. Yeah, the people still use the no-loss glitch for Division 1 and foot draft, and EA haven't really looked into it, which is, again, another reason why the game is not really fun-oriented, because it's all completely revolved around foot champs. In regards to EA's situation, with all of that, it's probably never going to be fixed, because I play draft, and I swear to God, I'm telling you guys this right now. There's so many drafts where I don't even show the rage quit. I just edit. When I edit it, I just show the next person's team. But I don't finish the game 1. Well, I do finish the game 1-0, but they quit the moment I score a goal. Like, I've noticed sometimes from drafts and seasons that when I get a penalty and it's 0-0, they'll quit the game, and I'm just like, well, obviously it's a person being a douchebag, but they're not going to get the loss anyways, right? So they just leave anyways. Or they are trying to be a douchebag, because technically if they concede the goal and they did a no-loss glitch, they still wouldn't lose, so it's still weird, right? But I've had games in draft where I've scored in like the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th minute, and then they left instantly. I swear to God, in the foot draft final, I scored a goal in the 2nd minute of the game, and the guy left right. I remember the exact goal. It was in one of my videos. I had the ball, I think it was with Ronaldo, and I did a left-footed shot across body, scored it, and he left instantly, right? I remember that game because it was the same game where I'm like, wow, the gameplay feels like crap, but I still scored a goal, so I was happy. I was like, well, whatever, right? And he just left. So, yeah, it's definitely still a thing. Whether they fix it or not, I don't know, man. At this point, it's like, hey, bring off FIFA 19. Unless they add a World Cup mode. If they add the World Cup mode, dude, like, seasons and draft is going to be the most irrelevant thing for me to ever play. I have 3.7 million coins on my Xbox account. If they add the World Cup game mode, I will 110% do a pack opening on the Xbox of the World Cup. If they do it the same way as FIFA 14. I don't know if the currency will remain to be the same as it was in those games, because in those games, if you had 3.6 million coins or 5 million coins, you can open those coins on the World Cup mode. But knowing EA, they're probably going to change that system. They're probably going to make it so that, or maybe not, they might actually keep it the same. We'll see. I know that they're going to do a World Cup game or game mode of some sort, but whether they do it for Ultimate Team or a separate game, we'll see, right? Man, you were doing miracles with that team because it's not really good enough to the other ones. No, I know, dude. Like, I know when people watch these videos, they see the teams that I come up against, and they're just like, wow, you actually won against those squads. Some of these teams that I come up against, like, some of the players are not that great. But you need to understand that these players make people play better, right? They actually help people because of how overpowered defensive AI is, right? So, that's why it's definitely a thing that people don't really look at too much, but it's 100 a thing that people should look at, right? What other questions we got going on here? Hi, which center back for around 750k or cheaper can you recommend me? I was thinking of Rijkaard or Nesta. I was actually going to try out Rijkaard center back card if I ever had that much money, because I think Rijkaard's medium work rate, so it'd be very similar to Boateng. So I would definitely try out the Rijkaard card. Nesta I used in a draft. I don't really know how good Nesta would be in the game alone, but Rijkaard I think would be a player that's worth trying out. But it's tough, man. It's a lot of money to put your trust into a player. So if you buy him, I hope for your sake that he's a good player in the game. I wish they actually had a way of getting a loan version of that Rijkaard that's a center back card. Like, even if it was like for 2 games, like it would be nice if it was worth like 5K or something and you could try it out for like 2 games so that you could see if the player is good or bad, right? Because dudes, honestly, it only takes 1 or 2 games. All you have to do is when you're controlling the ball with them, you have to see the general feel on the ball. You have to see how he plays off the ball, his positioning on the pitch. It literally takes you like 35 minutes in game to really realize if the player is good or bad. I realized that Matuidi was bad for the team that I had at the time because of the way that he was moving around the pitch. So yeah, it doesn't take more than 1 game. People say you're only going to judge a player on 1 game. It only takes 1 game. You don't have to play more than 1 game. You don't have to play more than 1 half, right? You could tell if a player is good or bad based off of that. Foot champs should be based on tiers depending on how you finish the previous week. So basically all the top 100s to Elite 2 guys play each other, then Elite 3 to go to. This has been a thing that people talk about all the time, right? The tier system of if you're in top 100, you face Elite 2 players. Here's the thing, man. I'm really of the opinion that if they do that, competitive needs to be its own thing. And if it provides content, the content shouldn't be as good as casual play content, right? Because casual play content is the best content in video games, right? If you make it so that all your content revolves around foot champs, like it has in the last 2 years, it's incredibly stupid to do that because it's such a stressful game mode to even play. But the concept of which you're talking about is actually really nice because here's the thing. Losing and not having this thing at the back of your mind, like really getting angry that you get the loss because of the concept of the game mode, like that's the most important thing for a game like FIFA, right? When you add a concept of 40 games, you can literally take 20 good shots against someone. Their De Gea will literally save their life, and you'll lose that game because of stupid deflections and stuff. If you lose that game, it doesn't make you want to play more foot champs games, right? But if it was like a World Cup game mode, it's like, you'll be pissed, obviously, but you'll still be getting 500 coins, 600 coins to save towards opening World Cup packs to collect more players. So there's still a concept at the back of your mind like, hey, I'm still collecting players. Whereas, oh, well, you know this one loss that you got that was absolutely crap? Well, that made you miss out on Elite 1. Or, well, that made you miss out on Top 100, Elite 2, Elite 3. Like, it's stupid, right? Like, I genuinely hate the concept of foot champs. It's weird when people say that I hate it because of my results, because I get Elite 1 with a very mediocre squad. It's not because of the results. It's because the gameplay is really crap, inconsistent. It's good when it can be good. And because the concept of 40 games within 3 days of competitive FIFA, because competitive FIFA is a joke. It's just, hey, score a goal, waste time. Score a goal, waste time. I don't like wasting time. But competitive FIFA makes you waste time because it's all about the result in the game. I don't like wasting time. But if I have to do it to get the dub, I will do it in foot champs. And that should not be a thing 100%. But hey, man, it's all in EA's hands now. Everything we say is completely irrelevant at this point. It's all in their hands, whether they do certain things or not, right? 32 games in a day was insane. Great content, pal. Many thanks. Yeah, dude, I played 32 in games in 1 day. It's bad, dude. Playing 32 competitive games in 1 day when the gameplay feels a certain way, it's not good for your brain. Like, I'm telling you guys, man. Like, the reason why I didn't play last weekend's Foot Champs is because I literally felt like I was losing my hairs playing Foot Champs. So, it just didn't feel worth it at all, in all honesty. And I can't believe today is already Thursday. How is today already Thursday? I thought today was Wednesday, man. Oh my lord. Did not think today was gonna be a Thursday already. That was fast. I did not expect it to be Thursday. Agree with the fun part of foot champs. I have played it week in, week out, but I decided to stop because, like you said, it is stressful and it began to feel like an obligation. When a game feels like an obligation and it feels like a chore, that's when it's not a fun video game anymore, man. And that's what foot champs felt like. And it's not even foot champs. Like, for me, there was the day last weekend when I played one game, I won it and stopped playing foot champs. And I was like, hey guys, I'm just gonna play foot drafts anyways. And foot draft felt like crap. It's like, dude, what am I supposed to do? You know, like, it's stressful. Honestly, guys, if the gameplay was consistently good, I would just literally play the game all day, like 10 hours a day. I'm not even joking when I say that. I would eat like in between there to have the energy, but I would literally play all day if it was good enough, right? It just isn't. That's why you can't really play consistently, because I could play Fortnite. Fortnite's a fun game, but I can't relate to Fortnite like I can with FIFA because of the football simulator concept. You know what I'm saying? So it's frustrating for me, man. Trust me, as a content creator, like all I want is the gameplay to feel like a regular video game, like no delay, no sluggish play. I just want you to feel normal, you know what I'm saying? Like just normal. It's not hard to ask for, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want that Firmino. Dude, the Firmino card's actually pretty decent. When you get the informs and higher, I think he has an 86 and 87 now. When you get the 86 and the 87s, they're fantastic players. They don't have the pace. When you come up against the icons, very, very tough to come up against them. But generally speaking, he's a fantastic player to use in the game, 100%. His shooting is quite good. Passing is very nice. Dribbling is good. He can actually jump in the air as well as having some sort of heading accuracy. So yeah, he's very, very good. What else do we got going on here? My friend, that goal was beautiful. Perfect build-up play, patient, varied passing, and a great finish. And this is how you play FIFA. I actually watched this, and it was a pretty good goal that I did. Gotta pat myself on the back for that one. Let's not forget that all those peeps watching the FIFA Championship, watching the rewards EA were giving out, I doubt half of them actually wanted to watch the stream intensively, especially when it wasn't even 100% gameplay, as they had issues. Disgraceful. Yeah, I actually didn't think about that. I forgot that EA were actually going to give out stuff for watching the stream, which ended up not being worth it at all. Actually, no, I think they give you like a kit, which whether you think is worth it or not is completely up to the person. I don't know if you guys think that would actually be worth it or not. Everyone is different when they think certain aspects of the game is worth it. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. Why not use 4-3-3, then Martial, Mbappe, and informs Alessandrini? I'm not a fan of Mbappe in the game. Alessandrini is very good in the game. I don't think he's good as a left mid, though. The way he moves around the pitch defensively is awful. Like, he moved around the middle more than he did on the sides, because the whole point of a comeback in defense for the 4-2-3-1 with the left mids and right mids is that I want him to come back on the sides, not randomly move in the middle like he did. Attacking-wise, though, Alessandrini is incredibly quick on the ball. He's very, very fast. But he's just a player that didn't work out for me on the defensive side. And that's where I focus my gameplay more around. So that's why I didn't like him in a 4-2-3-1. But in a 4-1-2-2, I honestly feel like he's probably a god in the game for sure. I have been watching your vids for a month, bro. Really enjoy them. Keep them coming. Yo, thanks, man. I do appreciate that, dude. I'm glad that people like the videos now, man. Like, it's really cool that people actually want the podcast or the videos to be like an hour long, because they actually like the conversations that we have. And obviously, I get a certain way when I make these types of videos because I'm very passionate towards the game, and I really think that some things that people think is an opinion isn't an opinion. It's just an overpowered game mechanic. You know, it's just how I am as a person. I'm not really like, I don't really hide my true intentions as a person when I'm making content. Like, I just say what I think, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to go from. But we are going to end it there, guys. We've been talking for a straight hour. We've got all the content that we need, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you guys so much for watching the video today. If you guys did enjoy it, please drop a thumbs up on it, and I'll see you guys for the next video. I'm probably going to do that right now, actually, because I already have another 1 hour video clip thing edited. So we're going to be doing some more talking. So I hope you guys did enjoy it. I'll see you guys later. Peace.